there?
It's all about the music, bro. It's really
You really think so still?
it's
Even with so many people making it that don't have great music?
Nah, but that's the thing, bro. It's all about that record, man. It's that one record that really sets everything on fire. You know, it's that one record that resonates with the whole world in a community that just is so big, and then you get those diehard fans, and you know, it's that one. It's always been about the music. It always will be.
Like,
And
you still think that's true?
it just comes down to
It was
one
one.
record. Yeah, what was it?
Yeah,
Ransom for Tekka, right? And
Yeah.
you know, obviously he hasn't had a record that was as big, but that one gave him an entire career, bro. It takes one record.
One.
And you know, even with Roddy, you know, he had
Box.
that
Well,
that
he had a
that
few.
he did. No, before, yeah, and that really started
Box did it, but it was
but the
it was a
Box
few
did it. The
before
box,
that motherfucker that was like.
yeah. But the Box was the one that blew the doors open for him, bro.
Remember, I was down bad. I'm
That
on the
made
jet
him a
for
global icon, like.
Right, that one.
And it's all about hit records, man.
But that's the thing, is like,
it's always been
it's
that
so
way.
confusing, because it's like how do you? I feel like there's so many people who have one, right? Like, we've heard so many songs growing up, especially around here. Like, there's a song that go but won't go, right? Because it doesn't have the same push, but it's like clear that it's the one, because we hear niggas slapping it, we see niggas posting it, but it still don't. I've had several of those, like, still to the, like, songs from then that still goes off today. When a moment comes, it reignite, right? But how do you, like, what is taking their one from, like, being one locally, like everyone's choosing it, to being one globally?
I mean, that's a tough question, because you know, that's the thing, bro. Like, you know, you look at somebody like XXXTentacion, who had the song "Look at Me" that was very underground, and even if you dissect the song down to its bones, it's a very much untraditional. That shit was super distorted, fucking,
right,
you know, sounded terrible, but that's what made it sound beautiful, and that's what gave it, you know, the character of that song. And you know, that it was that song
and
is,
even that is like,
it's not traditional radio top 40, you know what I mean? But
right,
it made him a legend, you know?
Right. So, like, hit doesn't even, it doesn't necessarily have to be a great song in.
It's not, there's no specific,
because I think like that song, like, my parents ain't listening to that shit.
No.
You feel me? But hit songs, I look at, like, everyone's Shabuzi Obar song, right? It's like you feel me? But that's a hit. But Look at Me is also a hit, even though my parents and my grandparents ain't turning that shit on at all. Right.
It also depends on what kind of career you want to have too. You know, X picked a very specific lane, you know, and he knew who he knew who he was as an artist, and he leaned into it super hard.
Right.
You know, he made the content that not everybody was gonna fuck with, but his core fan base, you know, would understand and loved what he was about, and followed him to the death. And you know, I don't know what the numbers are with his fans, maybe like a couple million, I don't know, but those couple million fans were so die-hard, they would stream his music every day, have it on repeat, and that does more than, you know, an artist that has millions and millions of fans that are kind of just casual and will play your song when it comes around, you know, on their playlist or whatever. So, you know, I think you have the potential, because you already built that fan base, bro. You have people that would die for you. Like, you built that organically. Like, you built that connection with every single fan that you've made.
With me, do you feel like now it's just like they all need one thing to rally around? Like, bro, it's that record. But isn't that? Yeah.
Yeah, one record, I think, is gonna just it's gonna set
But do you feel like that record could be any record that already works if you work it?
No, it has to, you know, it's a
Like
science.
like
It's a
we were
science to it.
we're
You know.
talking how like I'll go to shows, right, in different cities and completely different states. And there's some songs that every crowd sings, right?
Yeah.
And it changed my mind because it was like that has to be a hit if I'm traveling to places that I've never even fucking been and they know it word for word,
Yeah.
right?
I don't want to say it's a science because, you know, music is art and it comes from inspiration. It comes from places that you can't really pinpoint, right? Like,
What's up, dog? What's happening? How you feeling?
Shit, man.
Good to see you.
And stuff, man. You know,
Come on.
Come on,
He
man.
got it on his arm now.
but I think it takes, you know, a different kind of focus into really trying to make, you know, because there's people that do this every day that you know, come in and try and make a hit every single day. Sometimes it doesn't work out, you know. Sometimes, you know, you could try and sit there and try and make a hit and you won't make anything. And, you know, but you can go in there one day and not think about, you know, you freestyle some little thing here and that shit blows up. You
But
just
is
never
the
know.
hit still the hit without the infrastructure?
Uh,
Like, no, right? Because it don't go nowhere. Even the like, you know,
no,
because isn't that the case? How like LMA had made Boot Up years prior, and it released, and it didn't become a hit until it had infrastructure enough to make it a hit.
in my experience, bro, I've never met a talented artist who makes great music that hasn't blown up. Like, I've never come across an artist that has made great music that has not blown up. From the smallest of the smallest, like,
Wow.
if the quality of music is there, it always finds its way. Always does, bro. And
Wow.
I think, yeah, it's crazy. But it's true. Every kid that I've seen come from nothing, start from zero, that has just made such brilliant music, bro, they all made it. Somehow or some way, it's found its way. And obviously that's the beauty of social media too. Like, you know, you know, you can find these things and they just blow up organically because people just find it. But, you know,
Right. Even
obviously,
if it's in a niche
absolutely.
world.
But obviously, if you have people that believe in you and you have a team, you know, you're gonna need that, bro. Like, one person can only take it so far, you know. But then if you come onto a team with people that have been doing this their whole lives, and you add on, you know, that's what signing with labels for. You know, you sign on to a team of experienced people that have, you know, spent their whole lives, you know, in their specific fields,
Right.
trying to help artists blow up, and you have their network, you have their friends, and that just expands your network. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's only gonna help. You know, but that only starts by making great music because there's so many artists at a label that are, you know, competing for the attention of the building, and it's a rat race. Like, who can make the best music to get the building the most excited? You know what I mean? And so that's how it goes.
What do you feel like you do best? Like where do you feel like why you were so beneficial to being in the system and the helping?
Shit, I learned from the best. I've been around the best, and, you know, I started from nothing too, bro. I didn't come in here with, you know, I'm Korean, bro. Like, how many Korean people do you ever see at let alone major label, you know, in America?
Right.
I've never seen one. I've never met one. Um, but I was very fortunate to have great people around me that, you know, taught me the right way. And, you know, I started as an engineer, and I've been producing since I was in college. I've been playing the piano since I was a kid. I've been making music since I was born, bro. You know, so I started from the engineering process, and then I graduated to producing, and that's when I got to work with like P&B Rock. Like, he was the first artist to ever give me a chance, bro. And, you know, I got 2 placements on his album. And
this way. You produce too?
Yeah.
I got some.
And, you know, he was the first one to really believe in me and give me an opportunity, and he, yeah, you know, he changed my life too forever. And And then, you know, shit, the pandemic hit, and everybody moved to LA, and my boss was like, you should try and, you know, you should try and sign somebody. You know how to make records, go find an artist to sign. And I signed this indie group from New Zealand. And, you know, they had like 800 followers on Instagram, didn't even have a TikTok, but the music was absolutely incredible.
And you took a risk on it.
I took a risk on it, and now they're the hottest band in Atlantic. They're arguably the hottest
no
band
fucking
in the world.
way.
Yeah. They're the hottest band in the world right now. Their song.
And so, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, what's up, dog? How, if the music was great when you found them, how are they not the hottest then? Right?
It takes time. It takes time. You know, even for the building to recognize, you know, because there's so many A&Rs that bring in artists that are like, my artist is the hottest, my artist is the hottest.
Right.
And especially when you don't have the numbers to back that.
But I'm saying, do you feel like they would have ever got to that point without the support of the infrastructure?
You know, I can't say. I know what I've done for the band. I know how much hard work I put into helping them grow. So I can only speak from my experience. And maybe they would have found another way. You know, maybe they would have found somebody else, you know. But everything happens for a reason, bro. And I just know that if you're a good person and you work hard and you surround yourself with great people, like people that you really trust, you could take it all the way, because I've done it and I've seen it happen all the time. So
you feel like you know a hit every time you hear it?
I'd like to say yeah, but you know, nobody really ever knows. You know, nobody ever really knows. But the more you listen to music and the more you study that and you know, take time because that's all I do every day is I just listen to music. Like, I'm going through every playlist, every single playlist, every single day from the second I wake up to the second that I go to sleep. Like, you know, and I think, you know, and obviously being with Craig for so long, just pitching him artists and seeing how his brain works, why he's signing shit, why he thinks this is a hit, what makes the song a hit, why this isn't a hit, why this is a bad artist, why we shouldn't sign it, like, you know, and just being around that thought process and just being around other great A&Rs at Atlantic, because, you know, they have the best A&Rs in the game, you know. And
if you get one, do you feel like you should just not worry about, like how you like one song does it all, right? Changes it all. So it's like, if you get one, do you feel like you just put all the effort there?
You see, that's the thing, man. Like, that's the difference between artists that are actually talented and artists that get lucky. You are an artist that is so talented, bro. Like, you have talent. Like, when you have talent, like, you have an actual career because you have abilities that nobody can take away from you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like, your God-given ability. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, that is the most valuable thing in I think in an artist's career in music and whatever type of art. You know, and I think if you learn to tap into it the right way and find the right producers and, you know, and really learn how to structure a real song, like, you know, not to say that you don't, but, you know, you can always get better. And all the best artists are trying to get better at their craft. And, like, it's like basketball, bro. Like, if you have the ability to jump out the gym but you can't shoot for shit, you know, you got to work on that. Right. You know, and if you keep working on that every day, you're going to make yourself a better basketball player. Same thing with artists. You know, if learning the guitar is going to make you a better artist, you know, that's what you got to do. If you got to work on your voice, then, you know, you got to start practicing singing. If you got to learn how to, you know, write better verses, and you got to do that every day. If you got to learn how to make better hooks, that's what you got to do, bro. It's all about how bad you want it and how you can improve your art, you know, because nobody's going to do that for you, and it's really about how bad you want it. And I think artists that understand that, you know, they have an opportunity. Bro, you could be a fucking global superstar. Like, you could be massive in Korea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the options are limitless. Like, And I think especially with having somebody like Ghazi, like I left my whole life behind for this company. Like,
right.
I left my family, my friends. I didn't know a single person, bro.
Right.
You know, but you know, obviously I seen what Ghazi was doing and just the type of person that he is, and you know, that's the type of person that I want to get behind and support. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
that's beautiful, because it's like, it feel like you came here to win.
absolutely. You know, I'm taking a risk on myself.
Right.
And I think everything that I've done up to this point in my life has brought me here. You know, nothing's by accident, you know.
And for you, like, what is it like? Like, what are you after? Like, are you trying to get, like, you want to work the biggest hits, or are you trying to make like the biggest artists? Or is it a culmination of that? Like, what
At the end of the day, artists need hits, man. That's the only way you're gonna make it.
Artists need hits.
Artists need you need a hit, bro. Everybody needs a hit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. It doesn't matter.
Everybody
who
needs
you
a
are.
hit.
Yeah.
There's no music industry with no hits.
No, absolutely not.
But then again, that's wrong. Because there's so many niggas who got successful career. Like, I don't think I've ever heard a hit Tech Nine song.
Right, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. You know, it's the type of career that you want, and are you gonna be able to sell out a sold out stadium in Korea? Like, I just saw Coldplay in Korea, bro.
Crazy.
It was, you know, and they did like 8 shows in a row in Korea in the same stadium, sold out. Like, they didn't have to go anywhere.
Playing the hits.
Like, playing the hits, bro. And you know, it's, you know, that's just how it always has been. And I think with any artist that you love their hits, right? Like,
that shit just so confusing to me, because like, I hear songs that, and maybe it's opinion, but I hear songs that I'm like, no, I've definitely made better songs than this, that are like big songs.
Yeah, but I think now, in having a team, you have to be able to step away from your own opinion and and be able to take on the opinion of other people that have been in this game for a long time, and you have to be able to collaborate. And you know, I mean, it's also an ego thing. Like,
Of course.
there's been plenty of times when I walk in the office and I'm like, this guy's a fucking star, let's fucking sign him. People are laughing at me, bro. They think the music is terrible.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then, you know, there have been plenty of times I walk into my boss's office and been like, yo, this song is a hit. Be like, nah, pass. Like it's nothing. And I can't stop listening to the song. But then I have to really understand, like, oh shit, like, he's been in this game. He's, you know, fuck, like, why does he think this way? You know? And then I'd have to understand it. And, you know, I think, yeah, it's a team effort. I mean, even with Drake, bro, you know, you don't think he makes songs and he plays it for his boys and they're like, this is fucking ass. And then he's like, okay, actually, it might be ass. You know what I mean? But in Drake's head,
nah, they not telling them.
I don't think they. Yeah. That case, I don't know.
no, for sure, no, because he.
The nigga said, I heard some ass come out of there.
No,
but
for
yeah,
sure.
but yeah,
I'm not saying
you
they're
know,
the end all be all by
of
any
course.
means.
Funny, like, not
Of
being
course.
funny,
But he.
I hit what you saying, but that don't come.
But at some point there was, right?
Yeah.
There has to be.
Yeah, you know, but that's what having a team is for.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean? And you got to be able to have these open dialogues with.
And you know, it makes sense, because there's some songs I make that, you know, y'all are like, nigga, that motherfucker dropped that, and I'm like, nah.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And you know, it just you know, I think it's crazy, man, because I was in the major system for such a long time. Right. And until I got on the phone with Tina and Ghazi, like, they made me feel something that I haven't felt in a long time, in terms of energy, experience, compassion, just being real human beings. Like, they feel like real fucking people, that really want to just help build not only the culture, but their artists. Like, they fucking care, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they'll die for this shit. Like, that's what I really felt when I got on the phone with Tina. Like, I spoke with Ghazi, you know, that was my first call. And then I didn't know I was coming out to San Francisco, but when Tina called me and I got on the phone with her for the first time, she didn't have to say anything, bro. She was like, come out to San Francisco. I was like, bet, done. I'm out there. Like, you know, and I don't regret my decision at all coming out here.
Beautiful.
You know?
Did you like, were you like at the end of your contract and had to make a decision whether you're gonna stay with Atlantic or not? Or like?
So my boss stepped down as a CEO after 23 years.
That big regime change?
Yep. And so when he got let go from his position, I think, I don't even know, bro. It was like 300 people at my office that got laid off in one day. All my friends got let go.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
You know, it was really, it was crazy, but I mean, shit, bro. I was there for 11 years. I never would have thought I would have ever even been in that building. You know what I mean? And the experience and the knowledge and the game and everything that I got to see and do in that building is just, you know, it's been a dream, you know? So I just took it as appreciating everything that happened and now having the opportunity to bring that knowledge and experience, you know, to help, you know, hopefully help Empire, you know, it just made so much sense. And I don't think I would have went to any other label. Like Ghazi and Tina and Nima, those are the only people that I think I would have ever.
Do you feel like people still make hit records that are impactful? Like you name like Cardi, Kodak, P&B, and like all of those hits are like, it's like candy, right? It's like bubble gum. Like it's not like it don't change your life, right? It's not I ain't mad at you or.
Yeah, but that's subjective, bro. You know, there's so many people that Cardi B has changed so many people's lives. Think about all the women that she's impacted.
Yeah, but I mean like the person though, not the record, right? Like I like it like that.
That song had the world going crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, do you hear it and you're like, man, this made me become someone?
No, but I think you have to be able to understand what a record will do for the world. You know, and I think before anybody saw that, Craig saw it, and he was like, shit, like, you know, he had the vision to bring J Balvin and Bad Bunny onto the record, like, and nothing like that has ever been done. Like, and to bring a Latin sample and to put trap drums behind it, that was the first of its kind, and that shit set off an entire genre of music that exploded after that.
It had that nigga Tiger making that shit.
Right, exactly. You know, so it's about having the foresight of the impact of these records too, and I think that's what, you know, makes great record executives is being able to connect the culture and having the foresight of just like how to bring the world together around a record.